Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm really excited right now.
And I'm Gary. And today we're going to review and discuss Wyrmwood, Road of the Dead. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story starts with some meteorites flying across the sky in Australia and people turning into ravenous zombies. We follow Barry, a mechanic who has had to recently put down his family and has to travel across the outback to look for his sister. He comes across a collection of over-the-top different types of characters and then has a bit of a revelation concerning his sister and the zombie horde.
This film it pretty much could have slipped right under the radar if it wasn't for the advertising of this film. The spectacular posters, the artwork in particular really catches your attention. And the fact that it has the slogan written across almost every single poster, which is that it's Mad Max meets Dawn of the Dead. Now, so you're going to take the Road Warrior, sort of Australian independent film, and then mix it with the George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead / remake Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And I was sat there thinking, it's never going to be as good as Mad Max. It's never going to be as good as either of the Dawn of the Dead. Just why bother? But mix the two together, and this is what you get.
Come on, you fucking zombie!
This is a really low-budget independent film. It was actually made, and this what gets my absolute appreciation for filmmakers who will do anything for their art.
Yep.
Is that this film was made over a 4-year period, and they only got to work on weekends. That, for me, straight away just says their dedication, their hard work, even if the film is shit, they have done something absolutely incredible.
I was really, really surprised with this film. I mean, like Gary said, saw the posters, watched the trailer, saw it on DVD, and it did look like a low-budget, low-independent zombie movie.
And there's so many of them.
Yes, there are so many of them that after a while you kind of just like, oh, here we go again. This one starts, and obviously we just get this guy talking to us, explain to us about what has happened. He was out in the outback with his brothers hunting. They saw the meteorites flying across the sky, and one of his brothers was killed and his other one was turned into a zombie, so he had to deal with them. He then turns to Barry, the mechanic, and says, well, why don't you tell us your story? And we then follow Barry's story. And it was quite savage, I thought. You know, I've seen a lot of drama in zombie movies, so I'm kind of numb to it now. But this one, you know, it did really hit home. Maybe it was the low budgetness of it.
I was getting a little bit put off at this point. I liked him giving that line.
Yeah.
That there's no way he could come up with a story about his life when that's just happened to him.
You got any stories?
This morning I shot my wife and child with a nail gun.
But yeah, you cut to this sort of home life, the sort of having dinner.
Yeah.
Bit of banter, conversation. It's just like, okay. They go to bed, they get woken up at night, and they wander into the kitchen, and there's a zombie eating out of the fridge.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how did it get in here? Why didn't it go and attack them? Why has it gone to the fridge for food? Okay, so it's that type of zombie we're going to be dealing with, some sort of spoof zombies. But it gets serious really quickly. It was quite intense.
Yeah.
It wasn't over really quickly. They kind of struggled around with each other. You know, the wife character was kind of panicking, and I was getting lots of flashes of the Evil Dead, of just, you know, not knowing what's going on and not reacting properly and panicking.
Yeah. But, we then follow. I mean, Barry takes it upon himself. He slaps gas masks onto his family because they notice some weird noxious gas coming out of the zombie's mouth, so they think it might be infectious. He tools up with weapons and he says to them, you know, go to the car. So for me, it was like, this guy is fucking serious to protect his family. No messing around, no standing there with your arms up in the air screaming. It was just go, get in the car. And obviously this is where it showed kind of its low budget roots, was they get into the car and they, you know, it's all dark and you've got the zombies running at the car and they drive off and the camera stays on them and you get the bumps every now and again. And I thought for a second, well, what's that? But then it dawned on me, right, they're hitting zombies. They're hitting zombies as they're going. It's low budget. They can't show you every graphical detail. They're driving along and his daughter becomes infected and she turns, but she's still strapped into her chair. So I felt a bit bad because, yeah, we've just had the family moment. You know, they were a close-knit family.
Megan, stop it. Megan!
And then his wife becomes infected, but she's telling him, I can feel it, you're going to have to deal with me. And so it was quite dramatic, you know.
And they turn so quickly as well.
Yeah. Very
quickly. And so, yeah, she goes for him. Like, they just have it turned out to be the final kiss.
Yeah.
The kiss of death, because she tries to rip his throat out straight afterwards. And him dealing with it with a nail gun.
Oh, yeah.
It's brutal, and again, you know, this film reminds you of a ton of other movies.
Yeah.
Where he's executed everyone,
yeah,
and now he's going to kill himself because what's the point of living when you've just had to kill your whole family and you don't really want to live with that?
I mean, well, just before that, I mean, Barry had been called by his sister Brooke.
Yes.
And she's telling him that her friends have turned and that he needs to look after his family and get the hell out of the city. So he after he's dealt with his wife and his daughter, and he goes to kill himself, and then the stoner turns up and he wants to kill himself with the stoner as well. He realizes, I've got to rescue my sister. You know, I've lost my family. She is the last member. You know, if I kill myself now, it's just going to be heartbreaking. But yeah, I think his name was Chalker.
I'm not sure.
The stoner, and it's gory. This movie is gory. I mean, we've already had the axe and the knife and the zombie in the kitchen, but then two zombies turn up with Chalker and Barry, and one gets blown away with the shotgun, and Barry jumps on top of another one with a rock, and he's just beating it to death. And that's what really surprised me, was the fact that over the 4 years that they've been working on this, over the weekends that they've been putting all the effort, they never lost sight that as a zombie movie, it's got to be bloody and gory.
Round them or through them?
Through him.
And it really, really is. And the practical and CGI effects in the film are brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the comedy moment when one of the characters has had an accident and he asks, is he still alive?
Is he alright? Is he okay? What do you fucking think? He's pretty fucking dead to me. Oh, he said fuck!
That's Benny.
Yeah.
Benny is just... Benny was part of the brothers at the beginning. And
he does serve as the comic relief for the entire film.
Yeah, but it's nice that, because, you know, without the, I suppose, Australian comedy behind it, this film would be too dramatic.
Yeah, it does again. Like it does tonally shift from having the comedy moments to the utterly sort of dramatic moments of sort of losing families and friends.
Yeah.
But the film sort of it sort of pushes that underneath for a while so that you can sort of enjoy the gross out effect and sort of laugh at some of the humor that's coming out of it.
Yeah, it's like, look, we're not going to make you forget that those family members are dead, but let's just remember that this is a horror movie. These things happen, especially in zombie apocalypses. You've got to be ready to take care of them. And then you have the Benny character who's just like, the comic relief to make you realize, oh, yeah, I'm watching a film. I'm not watching the live dramatization of Barry the mechanic.
I can't hold a rifle and my massive cock at the same time, Frank. But if you were to come out and hold one of them, I'll be flattered, mate. Oh.
Come on, Benny, hurry up.
Don't pressure me, Barry.
It's getting dark out here.
Woo!
Now things sort of start to get interesting though when the military turn up. They don't really have that much to say. When the military turn up and Brooke is up in the rafters and they sort of come in, they take care of the zombie and they just motion for her to come down. I was like, they don't say anything. They don't say they're there to rescue her. They don't say they're there to help her. They don't say they're there to kill her. They don't say anything. And before you know it, they try and chloroform her.
What the fuck did you do that for?
That's how we're going to have to put it out the old-fashioned way, Sarge.
Wait.
Questionable sort of government operatives.
Well, so are you surprised?
Not surprised at all. No.
As soon as these guys turn up with all their gear, I'm like, those guys were too prepared. But I mean, the fact that you really only see 2, maybe 6 military personnel in the whole of the movie harkens back to low budget.
Well, yeah, the scale of the film is really brought down. That's why it's called The Road of the Dead. You don't spend any time really in the city.
Yeah.
It's pretty much in the outback.
Yeah. Obviously, we cut to Brooke, and she's been captured by these military operatives, and she's been taken to... I thought it was... Well, it will be revealed later, but I thought, it looks like the container of a truck that she's being held in, and she is tied up. There are zombie infected people all around her, and then you get the crazy mad scientist. You cannot have a proper good zombie movie nowadays without a crazy mad scientist, especially one who dances.
This guy is seriously messed up. And he enjoys his work way too much.
But this is it. I mean, we've just gone through the dramatic comedy elements of Barry and his brother, and then cutting back to Brooke. I thought it would grate on me after a while because it literally is just this tiny little room with the zombies. But the story really unfolds through her. You've got the mad scientist. He keeps taking blood samples from the back of a zombie's neck and sticking it into Brooke's neck. She starts to show signs of being able to see through the eyes of the zombies. And I was like, whoa. When have we ever seen somebody actually having control of the dead?
It's been a very, very long time in zombie lore. I mean, you're going all the way back to original sort of voodoo zombie slaves as sort of, that's where the original word zombie derived from. And so it's really interesting to see it done present day.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up the actress as well, Bianca Bradley, who does play Brooke, is absolutely fantastic in this film.
He's got a thing for her.
Yeah, she's a feisty, action-orientated sort of heroine for the film. She's got a lot of charisma, a lot
Yeah.
of strength of character, and she's really easy on the eye.
Well, I mean, I was very impressed with her right at the beginning. I mean, she's there with her two friends. One of them turns into a zombie, and she does not hesitate. She is up in the rafters. You know, she is getting away. Yeah, her friend gets killed, but I saw that one coming a mile away. But she deals with them. She takes off one with its head with a spade. She hooks another one up. I did think, okay, you should have dealt with your friend, but, you know, progressive story. You know, let's keep it going. And the fact that she spends the rest of the film gagged. You know, she's got this mask on, so she doesn't say anything. But she, like you said, she's very easy on the eye. She's a very intelligent actress as well. So she's able to convey this helpless character through not saying a single word, and then carry on with this special ability to control the zombies, still with not saying a word. I'm very impressed.
So let's look at the zombies in this film, because they're not your conventional zombies. We have the normal zombies that are sort of stumbling around,
Yeah.
walking really slowly, awkward movements, which would give you the impression that they are reanimated corpses. But they're not really.
No.
So they're kind of more. It's kind of more like a radioactive virus or an infection of some kind, because what it's doing to their bodies is it's sort of changing all of their blood into a form of flammable fuel.
Yeah.
Which you do see the zombies sort of breathing out throughout most of the film. You don't really know why. It's not really explained until one of the characters realizes that all the fuel in all the cars are not working.
Yeah.
Yet somehow zombies are breathing this fuel, this gas.
Well, Benny would explain it later on that this is where the term Wyrmwood comes from, is from Revelations.
You never read the Bible?
Nah, man. I don't read that shit.
In Revelations, when the third angel blows his trumpet, a star called Wyrmwood falls to the earth, bringing a disease that kills a fuckload of people. That's pretty much the beginning of the end, biblically speaking.
And the fact that the end of the world has come. These meteorites have fallen from the sky. A virus has spread across Australia, all the rest of the world. We're not entirely sure. We don't actually see further than this story. But yeah, the fuel that we've been living with is completely useless now. I mean, they show an example by throwing matches into some of it, and it's like water. But then one of them throws a match into the zombie blood, and it sets on fire. And so as the film goes on, you realise that, yeah, these people who haven't turned are a specific blood type.
Yeah.
And everybody else is open for infection.
It's the inventiveness, though, where they decide that, these are gas-powered zombies. Yeah. Let's rig them up to the back of the van, stick them with a load of pipes, and we'll use these zombies to power a car.
Right, Joe, give it a crack now. Come on. You beauty. Good on you.
That's it. That's what I started really liking about this film, is that a lot of zombie films just go through the same monotonous footsteps that we have seen so many times and seen done well so many times. This one goes, here's something new, and I was like, oh my god, that works. The fact that the fuel, yeah, okay, they don't explain, scientifically, chemically why the fuel stops working, but then to tell you the truth, even if they had, would I even understand? Would you understand it? Would we even care? No. But then when you see them setting fire to a zombie's mouth and the zombie's air is on fire, I was just like, wow, you guys have really put some effort into this. unlike a certain game rendition turned movie.
Can you describe bad? What's bad?
I don't know. A shit sandwich shoved inside someone's asshole?
This movie has lots of zombie kills. Lots of them. We're watching heads explode. We're watching legs get taken out. We're getting zombies being harpooned. This film's got a steam-powered harpoon launcher.
Is that thing legal? That'd be stupid. Does it work? I'd move out of the way if I were you. Fuck me. Bullseye.
Gee, that's imagination. You know, the fact that certain points in the movie you don't expect. I mean, as the film progresses, yes, the zombies can have certain fuel in their bodies to power cars, but it stops at night. It stops at night, and they explain that the zombies are using it for themselves to make them faster, running, you know, more feral, more aggressive.
I love the fact that we do get these feral zombies, but where were these zombies coming from? Like, when they step outside, these zombies are coming up out of the ground, like out of this like loosely laden mud. I'm like, where the hell was that zombie all this time? And all of these zombies coming running out of the woods. I'm like, what were they doing in the woods? Where did they come from?
Those zombies are always there.
It didn't bother me. It just made me laugh. I was like, where are all these zombies coming from?
It just this film just really works on multiple levels. As I say this for a lot of films, I don't expect this film to win Oscars.
No.
But I had such a good time. You know, the characters had me up and down through emotions. They had me laughing at one point, and then they had me really depressed at another. So that actually made me care for them. The zombies, I wasn't really scared of them, but there were a lot of them on screen at certain points. So I'm just like, okay, who's going to die next? So that made me care for the people even more. The military, they come and go. But in zombie movies and things like that, you don't care about the military. You want them to frickin' die.
Fuck this shit! Come on! Leave her alone, you fucking bastards! Shut up, dickhead!
Easy. Sorry about him.
Listen up. They want us to take the girl's head off and chuck it in the icebox for later. Fuck yeah.
There's a few story moments in the film that kind of don't work too well. And it really is that there's no real bad guy for the film.
No.
We get the crazy doctor, and we get these sort of silent government operatives, but there's no real bad guy. I mean, the zombies don't really serve as the bad guy when you spend most of the time cutting back to the scientist who's performing these ridiculous operations. So the military and the government, that's never explained. It's never explained the whole time. We can only guess that there's small outposts of them everywhere, all trying to do something similar.
Yeah.
And that this is maybe a rogue faction, or, you know, it's not explained.
Yeah.
Like I say right now, Wyrmwood 2 is listed on IMDb. Very much looks like we're going to get a sequel. Hopefully it won't be 4 years later, but you know what? To these filmmakers, take as long as you need. I'd rather you not rush it and actually work it, and just tweak that script a little bit. Get to the point where you do have a really good beginning, middle, and end, because the end of Wyrmwood is great. It's a really good set piece.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care that much by that point, because we get to see one of the faceless military guys, and we've heard his voice a few times. It's like, okay, so this was the bad guy the whole time. He's come right at the end of the film, and you don't get enough time to hate him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that with the ending. It was building up. Barry's rescued his sister. She has her zombie powers. It's all building up to a big, well, not so big chase sequence with gunfighting and stuff like that. People are dying left and right, and I mean the final fight sequence between Barry and the captain was good. I kind of did like the captain's script, you know, the way he was coming across, he was a bit of an asshole. But then 2 seconds later, he's dead. And so I was like, well, okay, you didn't, yeah, like you said, you didn't build him up enough. If you built him up right from the beginning, if he'd been in Brooke's face all the way through, then you could really have hated on him by the end. But for me, I mean, this film harkens back to Undead from 2003. You know, it's a lot like that. A lot of, look, screw the explanations, screw the ideas, screw the getting behind people. We're here for blood, guts, gore, and zombies.
I have a few favourite scenes in the film. There's some really memorable moments. There's a couple of gore effects that really, really sort of made me wince. And watching him put that needle injection thing up the guy's nose.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad it cut away, because that made me no. There's a couple of nails being ripped off of characters, off their fingers. That's just, it makes you wince. There's a guy who gets his arm torn back. No, that's just, it's horrible, 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 wincy, gory nastiness. But my actual absolute favourite scene is the psychotic crazy doctor. From start to finish, whether he's dancing, whether he's performing these ridiculous operations, all the way up to the point where, for me, it pays perfect homage to The Evil Dead 2. It's when he's got the saw blade and he's cutting off his own hand, and the blood spraying into his mask.
My favourite scene, I mean, I had two, and Gary's just stolen one with the dancing doctor. It really just surprised me when he turned that music on. I was blown away. But the other favourite scene I had, I was very surprised by this, was Barry, Frank and Benny have realised that the zombies have stopped producing fuel at night and have stopped in their truck. And Benny turns and says to Frank, you know, this is a nightmare situation. And Frank says, no, it's not. And explains about how his son had died of brain cancer at the age of 7.
Talk about shitting yourself. He died in my arms. That was way worse than this. This is fucking nothing.
Sorry to hear about that, Frank.
Yeah, well, these things happen, eh? Baz?
And, you know, like we said, we've watched a lot of zombie movies and we've seen a lot of dramatic scenes. But the fact that these three guys are sat in this truck surrounded by zombies and Frank is just like, no, this isn't bad. This realistically is bad. It really hit me. It really made me quite choke up a little bit. Like, wow, how did you do that? How did you make me feel that? Surrounded, it's a low budget zombie movie. It actually made me care to it. And then it just cuts to Benny just making a wisecracking line. And it had me laughing. And I'm just like, you've just gone, whoa, 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 with my emotions. Kudos. Well done. I highly recommend Wyrmwood. It's one of those rare, under the radar zombie movies that you will actually find yourself enjoying. Like I said, it goes up there with Undead from 2003. If you've never seen Undead, go out and get a copy of that. Go out and get a copy of Wyrmwood. Go out and get a crate of beer. You know, sit down with a couple of buddies. Watch some really low budget, under the radar zombie movies. It's fun. It's class.
If you love independent filmmaking, if you really want to see some up and coming talent, if you enjoy zombie movies and you're sick to death of the mediocre ones that are out there, I can tell you now that this one is way above average. It is truly great. Like I said, a few story tweaks here and there could have made it an even better experience, but I'm having to nitpick, really. Yeah. I had such a fun time watching the film. The time went in no time at all. I really enjoyed the acting from all of the actors in the film. They all did a great job. And I can't wait to see some of them come back for the sequel.
Yeah.
I really want to see where they're going to take this idea. And this could be a great franchise.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
You gonna say something?
What's there to say?
Gobble. No, you've been on. Yell at her.
What was that?
He's safe now.